What's up, guys? Yabba dabba doo. All right, this is YieldMax Mindset coming to you with year 2, week 8 portfolio review. Our Robinhood account and our Charles Schwab account. We will check our Excel sheet, review it, and some crypto.com, see where our crypto's how it's looking, and see how the market. And we will hit our YieldMax Mindset Twitter account, and we'll do our Q&A. Of course, we'll hit our Divi tracker and Snowball analytics. So, all right, let's get to it. All right, as you can see, our account is sitting at $64,140. And the time now, of course, you can see there it says 12:48. So let's get to it. All right, live. We're up $47.77 in the past hour. We're up $4,265 today in the aftermarket, I'll say. The past week, we're up $3,591. Past month, we're up $8,026. For the past 3 months, we're down $13,451. Year to date, we're up $14,876. In the past year, we're up $26,153. And all time, we're up $30,229. All right. All right. So our buying power is at $23,923. Our available margin has increased to a whopping $147,353 available to use for margin. And we have year to date. It's not year to date because it fluctuates. I have used 123,000. I'm currently using $123,430. All right, so that's drop. It's been dropping. I think it was at 130 something, 139, 138. All right, so our buffer now sits at $11,162, 19.10%. All right, total maintenance requirements at $48,763. Okay, available to withdraw. Let's see what it sits at. Sits now at $6,976 that I could use to transfer out of this account. Of course, you can't transfer too much out, right? But you got to have some buffer there. All right, so our daily interest is at $17. Our rate is still between 100,000 and 1 million. It's at 5.0%, 5%. First 5,000 in gold membership is always free. So if you just want to use margin and say, you know what, I don't want to use no more than $1,000 because I don't want to pay interest and I don't want to get margin call and I want to be very, very extremely conservative with my investment. I mean, you still use a margin, so you're a little bit better than people who just, I ain't gonna say better, but you could potentially see a little bit quicker growth by using some margin, using it skillfully, not reckless like YieldMax Mindset. That dude, man, that dude's something else. He's reckless with his investment. I tell you, he plays at high risk. That YieldMax Mindset dude, I tell you. All right, so I'm just a guy on YouTube, so don't listen to me for financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. And let's get back to our portfolio. All right, so we're gonna go through our positions because now, guess what? They're all weekly. For those that are just late to the game, they are weekly. They're no longer monthly, other than the target 12. Yes, the target, at least all the YieldMax funds, other than the target 12. Round Hill has quite a few that pay weekly, and then they have some that pays They got them also staggered where they pay out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll show that on our Twitter account when we get there. All right. All right. So let's go over our positions right quick. Because you know me, YieldMaxMindset, that dude on YouTube, he wants to get it done in about 30, 45 minutes. And somehow he get to yapping his mouth and talking different strategies and all that. Because you know it takes about, depending on how many questions are out there and we have to answer, that could take another 30 minutes in itself. So let's get through these positions, right? Right. All right. First up, uh, I don't have any of this in my Robinhood account, but I was looking at this because someone had asked a question about it being 2x leverage, and I was like, I thought TSYY was 2x leverage, so I thought I don't start yawning until I get on here. All right, so I thought this was 2x leverage, and it is. And so I was checking it, and so this not only I wouldn't be so much concerned with it being 2x leverage. I mean, I would. So if you click on that, I actually hadn't done that. I didn't know it was going to do that. All right. So let's just briefly read that. And this is what I'm talking about. Get the on here and something comes up, doing something. It says leverage exchange positions, products or ETFs and oh man, okay. Exchange traded note. Now I'm familiar with that term, exchange traded note. And see, here we are going again, venturing off into something. If you all been watching for a while, you all know about this right here. USOI. This was a position that I was in, and I still have about 9 shares in my Weeble account that I haven't sold. But this is the first. Now I knew about Main, MAIN. It's I think it's a bank stock, right? It pays monthly, right? And it's paid solid. I mean, man, since I'm talking about Main, I might as well just pull it up, right? Main Capital. Right now it is 57. 52 week is 47 to 67, right? It's a monthly paying stock. All right. All right. Main Street is a corporation. It's a limited business development company, a small business investment company specializing in direct and indirect investments. Indirect investments, the firm specializes in private equity capital, lower middle market companies. The firm specializes in recapitalization, loans, growth capital, mezzanine debt. Never heard of that. Corporate curve outs, family estate planning, management buyouts, refinancing, private loans, private credit solutions, senior secured term debt, and various things here. All right, only 104 employees, right? IPO'd on October the 5th, 2007. All right, so their dividend payout, you see the price. When I first came across this, I don't know if someone on YouTube mentioned it. It may have been Chris saying 57, or it may be that bow tie guy. Can't remember his name, bow tie guy. But anyway, $57 right now. But when I first came across it, was around maybe $29, $30, right? And of course, now I wish I had held my position. But its monthly payout is around 25, 30. You see there, it's been pretty consistent, you know. So, I mean, if some of y'all like that, it it doesn't. It's like one of those very conservative type position. The volume, see the volume there? It doesn't just jump up crazy or jump down crazy. It's gradual. It's going to gradually go down. It's going to gradually go up. But if you look here, its lowest point was year to date was back when Liberation Day happened, April, around April Fools. You can see it dropped down to $49. So in from April to now, it did get up to 67. around August. You can see now is at 67. Right now is at 57. All right, I thought this thing gave us a 5-year chart here. Tell you what, let's go to Google. Let's go to good old Google. Here I am venturing way off topic. All right, so let's go to Max. So this is how it's progress. So back here around IPOs around $10, and over the time it's just gradually gone up. So I think I heard it about maybe around here. This is probably where I heard about it. Somewhere between 2018 and 2020. I think that's when I got wind of it. All right, so you can see for the month it's down 9%. 6 months is up 5%. Year to date it's down 3%. But anyway, it's a pretty good solid stock. All right, let's get back to what we was talking about. We were talking about USO. All right. So this, other than Maine, this was the first monthly, and it's not a ETF, it's an ETN. And what I can remember, um, it was considered dead. But anyway, this is what it pays. All right, so it was paying pretty good, and then it came down to like $5, and they did do a reverse split. But that wasn't too concerning. What made me get out of it is that it was owned by Credit Suisse, and USB ended up buying or taking over Credit Suisse, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. They bought their debt or something. They bought them or something over. I think it was over there in Europe somewhere. And so I got out of it and took a loss. It's at 40. You can see, I think it was high as $92. Let's go back to good old Google. I know y'all's like, go to Google, man, go to Google. Go to Google, man, go to Google. All right, so let's take a look. So look at that. And I think this was maybe before this. Whoa, let's see here. When did I come across? I had to come across it probably before the reverse split, somewhere around in here maybe. And I got out of it because I didn't know what was going to happen with that buyout. But they just recently changed the name. It's USBAG uh, ETN. It used to be Credit Suisse, um, what we call ETN. All right, enough of that. Let's move on. So that's what leverage exchange traded products are exchange traded funds and exchange traded notes that track certain assets and seek to multiply their performance. These products are designed for short term use. The results are either positive or negative and can be quite drastic. 2x, 3x. So um, I posted this in one of the, someone had a question in the Q&A section, and in simplest term, you got twice the leverage up when the position runs up, and twice or 1x that when it goes down, something like that, right? So here's the 3x, right? I'm not gonna read all that. Yes, I am. How do they work? If a regular fund raises by 1% in a day, then a 2x leverage fund uh, tracing the same asset may raise by 2%. See how the day's gains would be twice as large. But if but it can go the other way too. If a regular fund falls by 1% in one day, a 3x leverage fund tracking the same asset may fall by 3%. The day's loss would be 3 times bigger. How can investors be affected? Leverage products are generally designed for short-term investors, investors and are typically not for the buy and hold investors. Some advanced traders hold them for one day. Beyond that time period, they may increase their risk even further, and they typically deliver a less consistent multiple of their underlying performance. These projects are volatile, can cause considerable losses, and may not be for all investors. You can read more about this in the prospects. Okay. Yep. So there you go. All right. So that's what someone had asked me about, and I put it in the comments. All right. So granted shares TSYY is up 2%. And like I said, I don't have any of this in my Robinhood account because one, um, it's 50% maintenance ratio. All right. Next, we got IMIS from Bitwise. We can see is at 26.90. Excuse me. 26.90. All right. So my market value is at $26.90. Total return, we're down $23.33, and the average cost of $50.23 for one share. That's sad. I only got one share. Mm, mm, mm. And is at $26? Well, it's a good thing, right? That I only got one share, because now would be the time for me to get in that. I think I may buy some of that tomorrow. We'll try and keep that in mind. We may buy some of this tomorrow. What is this? Okay, I missed. Oh, let's see here. I think strategy went up today. MS, I mean not up today. I mean I think it's up and after. I think it was up. I saw somebody tweet or something that it was up like $13 or something. So that could be good for Misty also. Could be good for Misty. Okay. But anyway, a lot going on. So hopefully I can remember that at least buy two shares, bring down this average cost. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Done with that. Next we have Imara. All right, it's at 33.69. Our market value is at $2,021. We're down $501. Our average cost is 32.05 for 60 shares. Wouldn't hurt to add to that position as well. It's 25%. We don't know if we're going to do that this week because we're waiting on Palantir, right? But anyway. All right, next is AIYY. It's at 253. Market value is 506. We're down $408. Average cost is 457. 200 shares, 50% maintenance. Don't want to get any of that right now. All right, next is SoFi. Now, this is a position that, if you all been with me, I got in some time ago because my average cost is down. All right, so it's at $30.08. It's up $1.07. This is exactly what Chris Sain said was going to say. He said, hey, SoFi is going to $30. It's going to crawl, but it's going to get there. And it has gotten there. All right. So market value is at $752. We're up $247.50. We did sell half our position. Is that because we got now only have 25. We did have 50. Let's go check our history on it right quick. I know it's here somewhere. All right, so I bought 50 shares July the 10th. 50 shares July the 10th at $20.18, and I sold 25 shares at $23.10 on August the 21st. All right. So if we hadn't and held on, we would have 50 shares, and each share would be up $10 a piece. All right. Next, we got YieldMax. It's at 12.52 right now. It's up 13 cents in the overnight market. 626 is our market value. We're down $153. 15.59 is our average cost for 50 shares. 25%. Oh, gotta show my dividends. All right, forgot about that. All right, so we got 50 shares. We got basically 16 cents a shares for $7.87. All right. Next, we got YBIT. It's at 901. Market value is at 558. We're down $317. Average cost is $14.13. 62 shares. Let's see what our dividends were for that. All right, 62 shares, basically 8 cents a share, $5.05. Not much, right? All right, next we have Super Microcomputer. This is the actual underlying stock. It's at $49.59. It's up $1.30 in the overnight market. Our market value is at $2,479. We're down $450. Average cost is $58.61 for 50 shares. 35%, 35% maintenance ratio. I wish we had more in this one because I do know that when she runs, she should run. Right there, she got up. What is this? 2024 March. It was at $114. All right, next we have SMCY. This is YieldMax uh, version of the SMCI. All right, so it's at $14.18. Market value is at $1,985. We're down just as much, $1,624. Average cost is $25.78 for 140 shares. 30% maintenance ratio and SMCY. It would be good to add to this position. Yep, why it is down. Got a lot of, oh, let's look at the dividends. All right, our dividends was 140 shares. We had almost 25 cents, 24 cents for $33.95. You can see last time it paid 140 shares, almost 81 cents. So drastic drop, right? Next we got Tesla, $8.35. Tesla is one of the OGs, and OARC is one of the OGs when it comes to YieldMax. I saw that they came out in 2022. I don't remember what month it was, but I do remember seeing the year when I saw the return on capital for all the positions. They came out in 2020. You know what? We may be able to do that right here. Do the inception, right? All right, October of 2022 for Tesla. Let's see, it's the same for OR. November. So Tesla is actually older. Excuse me, older. But these came out in 2020 because I didn't find them until excuse me about 2024. That's when I found them. All right. All right. Where were we? All right. So our market value is at $1,503. We're down $608. Average cost is $11.73 for 180 shares. Let's check out our dividends. All right, so we had 180 for basically 17 cents for $29.74. Prior to that, we had 180 shares at 19 cents for $34.88. All right, next we got Hui, Robin Hood's uh, type thing. All right, so it's at $68.20, up $1.53 in the overnight market. I think Mike Lesser said he picked up some Hood and Hui, or HOOW. So my market value is at $750, up $61.63. Average cost is $62.60. So we have 11 shares. What was the maintenance ratio? 25%. Good. It's another position we haven't increased. All right, so 11 shares at 73 cents was $8.04. Prior to that, it was 11 shares at 5.91. Oh, because it was monthly then. That's why. 5.95, $65.46. That's why. All right. Next, we got Webull. Webull's at $11.85. It's up 34 cents. This is supposed to be the next, well, I don't know about that. But anyway, I ain't going to say that because I don't know about that. All right, it's $11.85. $2,370 is our market value. We're down $840. Average cost is $16.05. Excuse me. For 200 shares. All right. This doesn't pay any dividends. So we'll move right along. Next, we have our strategy we've been waiting on here. All right. Is at a Palantir Technologies at $188.45. Let's go back today. All right. Right now it's up $3.82 in the overnight market. We got 6 days left to their earnings call. All right. So our market value is at 28,267. Profit right now sits at 8,522. Average cost is 131.63 for 150 shares. So this is what we've been waiting on. I think I've seen it at 86, maybe 87. So we're getting closer to our $200 target. We're hoping to reach it. If we reach it before earnings, we may sell it, or we may sell half of it, or we may just hold to after earnings. Maybe put in a stop loss if it does get to say 95, 96. Put a stop loss in at maybe 93, so that if it drops this time, we'll take our profit, because we've had it to drop 2 times, go up to 185, 186, came down twice, I think, to 150 something. So could have rinsed and repeated, but we didn't. So, but anyway, we're here. All right, so this is what we're waiting on. So this 8,500 is in this. So this 85 will get doubled as buying power, or triple maybe, and buying power for Robinhood. But only the 8,500 will be available for withdrawal. So that'll add to my 6,900. But we're gonna probably put this, if we sell it, into ICOI and TSSY, or COIW maybe. All right, moving right along. Next we have Platy. This is the ETF for the Palantir. All right, it's at 63.53. It's up $1.21 overnight market. We have $14,611 in here. We're down $616. Average cost is $16.21 for 230 shares. Let's check our dividends. All right, so we had 230 shares. It pays 73 cents for $169. Last time, 230 shares for 74 cents for $170. All right. Next, we got AMDY. It's $10.23. It's up 32 cents in the overnight market. Our market value is at sits at $6,970. We're down $1,169. Average cost is $11.97 for 680 shares. Max ratio is 25%. Let's check our dividends. All right, so at 680 shares, it paid 19 cents for $129.20. Prior to that, it paid 95 cents because it was monthly. All right, so that was $646.14. Next, we got Bitwise. ICOI. All right, $30.21. All right. All right, our market value sits at $24,168. We're down $5,670 for an average cost of $37.30. 800 shares. All right, so this is what we want to put our Palantir in, right? Um, I don't know with I don't know if this is gonna stay at this $30 mark because I think Coney has been running up these last few days. Um, so this came down last week and hit 29. It hit. I thought it hit 28. I think it did in the pre-market when it paid out the. It took the distribution from the stock price, right? But it rebounded. It's Coney start running up. I think there's some callous, some news out there on Coney. I mean Coinbase. I keep saying Coney, Coinbase. So I think that's causing Coney and these other positions to run up. All right. So if Palantir were to hit its target price that I like, I would go ahead and put probably 75% of it, if not all of it, into this position. Probably shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, but that's what I plan to do. And if I'm able to do that within the next week or two, I would do that, and that's where we will sit until pretty much the beginning of the year. We will probably nibble in some other positions, but we won't be buying in bulk like we've been buying. All right. So that would probably put my Divi tracker and Snowball Analytics with an estimated amount at least 15K, maybe pushing 20K in dividends, and we would be somewhat content for a period of time. All right. All right. So yeah, I mentioned that. So let's check the dividends, right? Ratio is at 25%. It's got dividend history pending 800 shares at a payout of $3.94 per share. That's going to be $3,148.38. And I have, I believe, 98, I mean, not 98, 93 additional shares over in my Charles Swap account. All right. All right. Let's see here. You saw here I bought 730 shares at 36.30. Mm-hmm. All right. Next, we have Misty. Misty's at $12.19, up 46 cents in the overnight market. Let's pull up Mister right now because I thought I saw something where someone had tweeted it on Twitter. Said it was up. Yep. See, it's up $13.42. I knew I had saw that somewhere. Yep, it was tweeted. So I don't know what's going on with MicroStrategy. I think it's called crypto. You know what? I know what it is. It's because let's go to our news right quick. All right. So U.S. stocks future climbs on the Fed. I guess the Fed has got its announcement coming this week. Um, Big tech earnings, Trump and Z meeting. I heard that they um, I guess the representatives from China and from the U.S. had got together and put in place a preliminary agreement on tariffs. And so I guess now we're waiting on President Trump and I guess President Yi to come to agreement on the terms. But I think the ambassadors or whoever it is that did the negotiating, because I read that somewhere. So that I believe has our futures up. So I checked there and I checked. Let's see, has this changed? Refresh. So it's saying implied 331. So it's up the futures. I think on that news alone. Let's see. Stock futures climb ahead of big tech earnings, widely expected Fed rate cut. So all these things will be catalysts for crypto and our stock market. All right, cool. All right, so getting back to Misty, right? We have a market value at $12,190. We're down $13,506 for an average cost of $25.70 for 1,000 shares. So we definitely need to add, excuse me, to our position um, to bring down our average costs. 35%. Something like that. All right. So we have 1,000 shares. We got paid 21 cents for $212.20. Prior to that, I had 1,000 shares at 61 cents. That was $607.40. Next, we got OT, everybody's favorite. Right? Or is that true? At $5.09. It's up 5 cents in the overnight market. Our market value is at $7,635. We're down almost $3,000. Average cost is $706. 1,500 shares. All right. Be nice to add to that, but we haven't right now because we're doing other stuff. And you got margin call, right? So we ain't been doing too much. So 1,500 shares at 0.0903, 135. Prior to that, it was 0.09, 0.08, 136. All right, so we're averaging about 135, I guess, over the last 3 weeks. So 135, right? All right, next we got John. Oh, please. Tony in the house. All right, this is my biggest position right here. Is at $6.78. It's up 22 cents in the overnight market, right? So our market value is at $78,608. That's $78,648. All right, we're down 46,352. So Coney's gone up in the last few days, right? Because we was down as much as 58,000, if I'm not mistaken, right? All right, so let's just see. All right, so here it came down to 598. Let's pull up the months chart. So it looked like that was probably it, 598. But here it was at 7 around October 6th to October the 9th. It was about 766. All right, let's check our dividend payment. 25% maintenance ratio there. All right. So we had 11,600 shares, paid out 0.0932. That gave us $1,081. Prior to that, we had 11,000 shares, 11,600, paid out 35 cents. That was $4,015. All right. All right. So now we're in our Charles Schwab account. All right. Let's hit refresh. All right, so our total account value is at $5,254. Cost basis is at $6,170.95. This is the total amount that we've invested into this account. All right, we're down $918. And you can see our positions here. Kavana, our average cost is $40.07 versus 36. ETCO is at 27.35 versus 27.95. We're up a little bit in that position. ICOI, our average cost is 34.58. It's at 30.21. Morrow, we're at 21 average. Our cost average is at 21.92. Is at 1760. Murney's at our average cost is at 185. It's at 167. Our Misty's at 1808. It's at 1174. Our Platy's at 6478. It's at 6221. SMCY is at 1678. Our SMCY is at 1678. It's actually at 1420. All right, RTS YY is at 843. It's actually at 761. So we're down about $1,000. And so with having cash account, even though it's down, I have no real major concerns. I don't mind being down in the cash account because I don't have to worry about margin. It's just my money, right? So I'm not worried about it. All right, cool. So in this account, we're according to this dividend tracker in this account, we're averaging $220.27. We can't actually count this, but this may help balance these zeros out here. you know. But anyway, since we actually started this account back in May, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about 6 months running now. You can see here 202, 115, 179, 217, 287, and 257. So that's what we're averaging over the course of about 6 months now. Um, we would love to get this account where it's paying $1,100 a month, because then I'll be able to withdraw the funds from this and have it on auto where it can pay a couple bills, and I don't have to worry about messing with my Robinhood account. This will be taking care of it. All right. So we're through with those. All right. And so if we happen to get our Palantir funds about 30,000, that's what we're probably looking at. All right. Plus, if we add maybe 5 or 10K that's already sitting out there, we could use that as well. So let's say we did do that. If we went ahead and used 40,000 to invest this one last final time. These are the amount that it's saying we would get. I don't like those. Oh, the month. These are weeklies. Okay. All right. So we'll be getting this weekly. Okay. So basically $2,400 a month, $2,200 a month. All right. AMDU. Who is this? Defiance. Defiance. Is this weekly or monthly? I don't know. Next Tuesday. I don't know if these are weekly. But anyway, those are the payouts. Morrow. Well, Morrow we know is weekly. So I guess this is weekly, what we're getting weekly. So here it said 848 based on the last distribution. We'll go circle, I believe, YieldMax. So these are the amounts we're looking at weekly. All right. These are Granite shares there. A version of Coney, SMCY, Tesla, Robinhood, maybe Misty. PTLW, this is going to be Round Hill, right? I believe this is Round Hill. Yes. Round Hill. So basically, based on the last distribution, $45, paying $1. Let's see where it's currently CPT. So it's at 45, and it last paid $1 as well. Okay. Where's my position at? Okay, I got lost here. Oh, it was on YieldMax. All right. So basically, you're looking at almost $1,000 a week with PTLW, and with the Robinhood version of that, $870 a week. All right. This is one Mike Lesser was talking about in the comments. AMDW. Okay. All right. So here, this is one I had mentioned a while back, a couple of videos back. It's Ethereum, Grayscale Ethereum, cover call ETF. It last was at $32.62. It paid out $224. See what it's looking on. I don't think it's paid out. It's getting ready to pay out the end of this month, or the first of the month, right? Because it pays out on the 15th and the 30th. So technically the 15th and the 1st. Come on, get it. CO like that. Yep. All right, so it's at 27, and it last was at 32, and it paid 220. Yeah. So this September it paid 224. October it paid 128. All right. All right, so that's a position I'm investing in my cash account, right? All right, man, I gotta hurry up. Let's get to moving. Let's get to moving because it's 45 minutes. I ain't got the yap in my mouth. All right, let's see. All right, let's hit our crypto right quick. All right, so our value in our crypto account sits at $60,707. Our Crow, which is our biggest position, you can see here live how it's moving. Past hour, past day, and past week. All right. So we now have 302,775 tokens in Chronos. So our unrealized profit now sits at 24,117,000. When Crypto.com and Trump Media Company, I think Trump Media Company became the treasury of Chronos. I believe it's something like that. It went up to 38 cents. 38 cents, and we had, I believe, we were sitting on about 80 to $82,000 in profit, right? Next, we got Shiba Inu. We're sitting at $79.98 in profit. PayPay or PP, we're sitting at $749 in profit. And what is this? XPay. Okay. XPay is at 267. All right, so we're currently up $36.69 in XPay. All right. So we do without our crypto, right? All right. Let's go to our Excel spreadsheet. All right. So year to date, active income. Well, for the month of October, our active income was $3,819.67. For the total for the year, it's $43,379, and we paid tithes on $4,337. All right, our passive income, which is our dividend, last week we were sitting at $8,015.39, and with our distributions we got this week, we're sitting at 9,000. Well, last week we got, well, this past weekend we're sitting at $9,685.02. Okay. All right. So we got this week, our last week, the month of October. We're going to get paid from ICOI, IMIS, Amara, TSYY, and then our YieldMax and Round Hill weeklies. So just a rough estimate, right? All right. So we got, I believe, 893 of ICOI. Got paid what, 394. So that's $3,518. And if we got paid the exact same amount last week with other positions, I believe it was about that much, right? So that's $5,184.42 times 9685.02 brings us to an October total at rough estimate of $14,869.44. And if that is a rough estimate, that would be the highest total, highest distribution that we've received for any month other than the month of May. Excuse me. The month of May, I believe. Yep. The month of May was pretty close. And that's because Coney paid out twice in the month of May. That's why. And Misty paid out twice the next month, but you still see it's only 6,000. All right. All right. So that brings our active income from my employer at $43,376. I probably will start turning my taxes back on to try to get as much paid out in these last couple months. We're going to see what we can do. All right. Our active income, like I said, is at 43,378. Our total passive income sits at $83,939.02. All right. So if we're going to hopefully hit our target of 100,000 for the year, that's minus 83,939.02. So we need $16,060 to meet our target of $100,000 in dividends, right? So we got 2 months left. So we would just need to average over $8,000 for the remaining 2 months. And with us hitting um getting paid this week is going to be it's going to be less than that because we're going to get about $5,000 this week. All right. So that would put us, let's just say, just say 8,400, right? 8,400, and we're gonna get about 5,100 in dividends. Uh, Dividends. Was it about 10,000 divided by 2? So technically, we may only need to average about $5,500 the remaining 2 months. So unless something drastic happens in the market and we get paid some really, really, really low dividends, but we should still meet our target of $100,000 in dividends. It'll be the first time I've achieved that accomplishment. Last year, I think it was 33 or 39,000. So that's pretty good. Hard work is paying off. All right, our prior margin balance. Oh, excuse me. Our active income average sits at 4,390. Let's go $4,395. Passive income average is sitting at 8,393. Our prior margin balance was at $124,943. It now sits at a reduced amount of $123,430. All right. Our Robinhood goes at $50. Robinhood interest at $3,020. We're averaging $302 a month. And our 401k loan has been reduced to $21,552. So our total debt now stands at $320,662. That is down from about a week and a half ago at $329,168 on October the 12th. And that was our largest position of excuse me, wiping my eye right quick. That was the largest total amount of debt that we have been sitting at. All right. So our interest is going to be over $25,000 for the year. So we're probably looking at about $28,000 in interest. Mm. All that to try to achieve right at 15 to 20K a month. All right, so we got these last 2 months. Like I said, we're gonna make one more major purchase, and we'll be done and headed into 2026 to pay off all this debt. Finally, I mean, something can go crazy in the market to where the dividends are very, very small, and it makes that harder, or the dividends can stay where they at, and it should be pretty good, attainable. If they pay exceptionally well, we could reach our goals in lightning speed. All right. So our Robinhood deposits, we haven't made anything in October, so it sits at $1,885. Our Robinhood withdrawal, we did withdraw $300.03 this week. So our withdrawal from Robinhood for the year to date sits at $11,048.22. All right. So you could add that back to our total in Robinhood. Add that to that total, you're looking at about $75,000 almost. All right. All right, Coney. Invested amount is at $125,048. We have made $68,740 in dividend for a completion rate of 55%. Misty, we invested $26,143. We have made $23,647 for a completion ratio of 90%. Alti, we invested $10,849. We made $4,097 for a completion ratio of 38%. Overall combined from those three positions, $162,039. And we have made $96,485 off those three positions for 60% getting to where we will be at house money for all three positions combined. All right, done with that. Let's get back. All right. So Divi Tracker, let's refresh. Divi Tracker has our annual dividend income at $142,240. A monthly distribution is saying we are currently or should be averaging about 11,770, and we probably will get that once we get ICOI paid out. All right. So total invested is 200. Total invested at $261,779.48. If you subtract our margin balance, which is $123,429, and subtract $74,826,000, you will get $63,523. All right, so this is what we owe in margin, and this is how much our overall combined accounts is down. So we are down almost $75,000 in value on our account. So if we were just to break even on our account, if everything was to go back up to this average cost, 63, 63, I'm sorry, 63, 523, 23.69 plus 74, 826.70, right? So that's how much you would see sitting out there, 138,000, 350,000. You would see that sitting right here. All right. But because we owe margin, you seeing 63, right? So if we had this, I'm sorry, if we wasn't down 74,000, you would see 100 and what did I say? 138,000 is what you would see. And if we had our margin paid down to zero, you would see 261,778,000 sitting out there. So all that from what? I believe it's about a $30,000 investment. $5,000 was sitting out there in our account, so it was down half. So actually, I guess it was 12,000, but it was half the value sitting in the account, and then we'll deposit 26,000. That was 31,000 we turned margin on. We goes at 60, and we start using it. So we've done some nice work since let's say September of August of last year, right? So basically what 14 months, not bad. So imagine what another year would get me, where I would be at. All right, that'd be year 3. That's gonna be something to see. All right, so Snowball Analytics. Man, we ain't got to the Q&A section yet. Snowball Analytics. All right, let's get that to come up again there. What was that at? Right here. All right. So it's saying the holding value is 187,000, and because we are down In margin, 123,000. This is what you'll see in here. All right. So here it's saying total dividends received is $124,911. Profit in P&L 2148, and being down 73 leaves us with $50,204 in total profit. All right. Mm-hmm. Next 12 months saying 132, 11,000. Once again, this is showing for the month of October. What's been paid is in purple. What's been declared is in blue, and what's estimated is in a dark turquoise. Alrighty. So it's showing the totals what we've received since we've been investing this year. I don't know if that's just this year. Yeah, because that's what we got in our. I got that says 83,901. I got what I got here. I got 83,939. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, homies. All right, all right. So pretty much the same thing as far as dividends received in Coney, but you can see total profit based on dividends received minus capital gain, which capital gain happens to be a negative 48,000 that we're down in that account. You can see all these accounts that we're down, but our total profit when you subtract uh, the capital from dividends received, it leaves this amount here. All right. So most of these are in total profit other than ICOI because we have only received dividends one time and it was a small position. So we've increased that. So it says we have 827 shares combined. All right. We're just going to get on down here. So right here, dividends received 117,609. Minus the capital gives us a total profit of 44,649. All right, we're just moving right along. All right, let's get to. All right, so this will be the Twitter account will be part of some of the Q&A when I get to them. I'll show the Twitter account when I get there. All right, so let's see. October the 22nd. Are we back to? Oh, let's go back to our videos last week, year to date. All right, let's get to it because we're already an hour. Man, see how y'all get me to talking and I was, man, see, I ain't gonna say it's my fault, right? Nah, I'm not that kind of person. It is my fault. All right, so Mr. Hernandez says, how are the taxes going to look through? How are the taxes going to look though? Will it shave off 30% of your profit? Of course, uh, with anything you make profit on, unless you are very tax savvy and got some good CPAs, you're going to have to pay taxes. All right, so I said I have no idea what my taxes are going to look like. I will leave it up to my tax lady. I'm sure I'll probably be paying between 24 and 30%. But hey, if I make 100,000 in taxes and I walk away with 70,000 afterwards, I would have never had I not started investing. All right. A tricky production says, sound like a music producer. Just found your video. Now following the journey, especially on Misty. Keep going. I said, well, I thank the Lord that you found my channel. I definitely will be sharing my journey, ups and downs. Let's see what happens. Misty used to be a banger. It still's paying decent, waiting on BTC to run up. You so you you keep I don't know. Uh, it says too much margin if the market crashes badly, you're getting wiped out. I said, I like that. I said, I like that you said if. So that's conditional. I could lose a few shares, a little money, but I ain't scared of no margin. Bring it on. I have a plan B in place. I think I'll be able to avoid it at all costs, but nothing is guaranteed. And that's the risk I'm willing to take. That's a risk I'm willing to take. I'm not telling you all to use 90, 80% of your margin like me and do what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm trying to get to a place in a hurry. All right. Pocket change process. Right now, I have Coney, I got Misty, I got Tesla, and I got Ulti ETFs. Have been amazing so far. He said, I can't wait to see Coney going back to $10. Neither can I. Can we get a Coney? Coney, will you please stand up? I says, I'm glad to hear that at Pocket Chain Pro. Seems we share some of the same positions. And I can't wait to see Coney get back above $10. Again, that will be a huge boost to my account. And that will give me so much flexibility to do so much more. Let's go. Mr. Frank James says, excellent videos. I'm moving to 10 to 20% margin only once. I get my account to zero in 4 months. Thank you for sharing your experience for us visual learners. I said, Mr. James, you are very welcome. I appreciate you stopping by, viewing the channel. My way going, what is this I'm saying? My way going investing, my way of investing may not be everybody's cup of tea, but hopefully people are getting some bit of information that they can use to create their own strategy and make money. The, the Doge Goat Cat? I don't know. Thank you, sir, for the videos, he says. I said, you're welcome, my guy. You're welcome. Um, Ricardo Hernandez says, wash sale. He says, wash sale summary. If you sell a stock, ETF, or options at a loss and buy the same substantially identical security within 30 days before or after the sale, the IRS disallows that loss for taxes. This disallows loss isn't gone. It's added to the cost basis of the new shares, deferring detections until you sell those later. To avoid a wash sale, wait 31 days before repurchasing or buying a different but similar investment, not identical. It applies across all of your accounts, including your IRAs, and only affects losses, not gains. I says thank you for providing more details on what a wash sale is. I hope those that are viewing this read it and implement it in their investment strategy. My brother came back with some more info. He said the bottom line here, wash sales are only a big worry for casual investors like myself trying to book losses while keeping the same position. Serious traders who use TTS, which is Traders Tax Status, plus Section 475F, essentially bypass it completely. I says, I'm taking screenshots of this information that you've given. Hopefully, when tax times come, if I need it, I'll remember these screenshots. Hernandez comes back with more info, people. He says to avoid wash sale rule, you have two main paths. One, elect section 475F market to market, which is MTM, with trader status Traders tag status. 1, qualify as a trader. Qualify as a trader. Frequent, regular, continuous trading. Hmm. I don't know if he's talking about qualifying as a day trader, because then that changes the game for a lot of us who are not day traders. And I think Robinhood flags you for being a day trader if you sell and trade the same commodity in multiple times in one day, or within a span of 2 or 3 days. They'll flag you as a day trader. But I think a way around that is if you have more than $25,000 value in your account. I think Robinhood makes an exception and you're able to day trade. I think. I can't be 100% on that. Hold on. All right. Also, it says file the 475E election by the tax return due date of the prior year, usually April the 15th. All positions are market to market at year end, so wash sales no longer apply. For regular investors, no F75F. Wait 31 days. These are for people who are not doing that strategy just mentioned. Wait 31 days before rebuying the same security, or buy a different one but not substantially identical stock ETF instead. So, in summary, only traders who elect Section 475F according are exempt from the wash sale rule. Everyone else must follow the 30-day rule or use an alternate security. I said, you are putting me on game, sir. I've never heard of a 475F rule. Thank you for sharing. And to all other viewers taking notes, we thank you, sir, Mr. Hernandez. All right. So that concludes that. Next, we got Mr. Gary. Good friend Gary here says, I love your content. I've gotten several people to subscribe to your channel. Anyways, my question is between Roundhill and YieldMax. He goes on to say, are there any funds that I can buy to where I can get paid every day or twice a week? And he wants to know if does this or any of these within Roundhill and YieldMax funds. So this is my reply. Now, this is where my Twitter account is going to come in here, because I didn't do the homework necessary myself. So I want to give credit where credit's due, because sometimes I can forget to do that. All right. So here, Roundhill, Monday, if you buy WPay in week, I don't know what days these all pay out, but I'm assuming if these may be the paydays. I'm not quite sure if these are the paydays, right? But it says WPay and week on Monday, on Tuesday, YBTC in ETH. I have YBTC in ETH. On Wednesday, XDTE, QDTE, RDTE. All right. I had a couple of these. I no longer have these. It's been a while. On Thursday, you get Maggie. On Friday, you can get all the Roundhill weeklies, and that consists of all of these. All of these pay out on Friday. All right. So I get paid on Tuesdays and Friday from Roundhill, because those are the only 2 days that I have. So if you want to get paid every day, and you can buy these. From the YieldMax version, if you own these here, you get paid um, on Thursday night. If you're Robinhood, you get paid on Thursdays, and if you own these of YieldMax, you get paid on Friday. I said, thank you, Gary. I really appreciate you spreading the love and getting others to view my channel and subscribe. It was very thoughtful of you. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Much love, my friend. Thank you, Gary. He said, I I've gotten several people to subscribe to your channel. Thank you, Gary. Wow, thank you. All right. Was that all? Yep, that was it. All right, moving right along. All right, Mr. Curtis Washington says, looking forward to seeing what our Coney gonna do this week, bro. Curtis, I would say that I was expecting it to be 11 to 13 cents on Coney. Coney has ran up these last few days. If it continues to do so, that we may see this week. We may see that this week is what I was trying to say. But I think he was talking about last week. Of course, I'm just replying back to the video. Hopefully, this coming week, I'll be able to reply back to you all's comments on a daily basis and knock them out. One, it's better that for some of your questions, get them right away, your response right away, as soon as I can see them, or as soon as I'm available. Had a lot going on this week with church, with conventions and stuff like that. Getting prepared for all that. So I didn't have the available time to just do that. So I did it all this evening, which is a little consuming in one setting. So if I can do it sporadically through the week, get maybe 60 or 70% of them answered, and that means if I have time on Friday night, I mean not Friday night, Saturday night, I can answer the remaining ones, and then what few that remain by Sunday, knock it out. That means my prep time is a little less, and I won't be up as late making this video because it's just late now. Yeah. All right. Um, Music says OT kind of killing. OT kind of getting killed right now. Not sure I want to hold my position, even though I love the dividends. Curtis says, man, I sold all of my old except for 9 shares, homie. I replied, I'm down about about 3K right now. I'm still holding my position with about 1,500 shares, and the average cost is 706. For right now, I'm just holding. What was that? All right. For right now, I'm just holding, still making moves in other plays right now. When I have time to come back and evaluate, I will. When I have time to come back, I will reevaluate OT. Um, but I won't take a right now. I won't take a 3K loss. I'll probably add to it and break down my average cost, but I won't take a 3K loss. All right. I also said sometimes you got to do what you got to do, Mr. Washer. I'm sure you're making smart decisions, so it's all good, my brother. All right. Next, we got. All right. Our group 2. All right. Sniper Wolf. 14 Sniper Wolf says, what's the deal with these leverage stocks? Should I buy? Now, I says they're fairly new to me. It's just something I started with TSYY. I pulled this information from Chat GPT. I would say invest at your own risk, not financial advice. All right, so I'm not going to read all this, but I put that out there for her to read. What's leverage? And I sort of read that in the Robinhood account earlier when I first got on some of this from what Robinhood was saying. All right. Mickens says, great videos. Glad you liked them. Stay tuned. Let's see how this journey goes. Mr. Washington says, very disappointed. Weak payout. Laughing out loud. Thank you for your weekly meetings. Just gotta keep buying more shares of Coney and AMDY until the payments don't matter because you're still making good money. Let's go, Mr. Curtis says. I said yes. So going weekly, if we were expected to get $1 for the month, basically we're getting 4 weeks, we'll be getting 25 cents. So the weekly payouts are going to be less, but then again, over the monthly payments were down as well. I says, and you don't have to buy more Coney or AMDY on my account because probably some positions that there are probably some positions there that are paying better, like PLTY, HOOW, HOOY, to name a few. Um, yes, so yeah, Coney is running up a little bit. Coinbase is running up a little bit, so we may start to see something. My good friend Maurice says, kind of annoying though, right? When you purchase more shares just so the distribution is less the next week or last week, but it's a roller coaster ride with these stocks. Mr. Curtis says, my thoughts exactly. I'm hoping they will have better pay, at least half of what they did last week, but not this little. Like, dang, laughing out loud. Maurice says, well, we'll get there one day. This guy, what's his name? YieldMax Mindset. He says, yeah, it'll probably be that way until the underlying stock starts to pick up. It's just the way the market is flowing right now. Of course, sometimes we have to reevaluate our position, rebalance them, maybe move into another position. If the loss isn't that big, I get what you're saying. Get what you saying. And then he says, my guy says, loud, not this little. Ha 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 ha. How hopefully in the coming months we can see some go up with the prices paid out. Y'all hear that YieldMax mindset dude? Like he know what he talking about. Man, get out of here. All right. Kelly says, Coney, wheat. Look, here go that YieldMax mindset dude. He says, yeah, it'll be that way until Coney gets started to go up above $10. And when she does hit that $10 to $15 mark, it'll be some really nice weekly distributions coming out. I hope so. Like he know. Come on, y'all. Don't listen blindly listen to a guy on YouTube. Don't blindly listen to no guy on YouTube. I don't care if his name is YieldMax Mindset. Don't blindly listen to him. All right, we got our Bitwise monthly ETF around Hill video here. Um, Rose says, "Hi, why did I receive dividends from Coney today? Are they not also? Are they now also weekly? All right. My good friend Mike Lester stepped in as he always do, and some of you other guys, you step in, you answer on my behalf because sometimes, like this week, I was busy getting church stuff ready, right? And you all stepped in and answered these questions. Bravo! I appreciate that. Love it. All right. My good friend Mike says all yield mics are weekly now to curb round hill and big wise damage. They are the new powerhouse funds, ATM. Not sure if it will succeed for them or not at this point. I love high yield ETFs, but just like a carnival, the fun ride don't last forever. Laughing out loud. You gotta bounce around a bit when week payouts are on the horizon. And Mike says one of his strategy is that if a dividend pays out less than $1, he bounces. He don't stick around. He ain't looking for no apologies. He ain't looking for I'm gonna do better going forward. Just tell me what it is you need. No, Mike says I'm bouncing. So that's his strategy, and it works for him. Helps preserve some of his capital. All right. Classic says, yeah, Coney is weekly. I have 300 shares in my portfolio. Its new dividend is just 9 cents now. Uh, Somebody's crying here. They're crying. I get it. I says, look like my guys have gotten you the answer already, but yeah, they're weekly now. And Mike says, yes, we dig big. Yes, we did. Yes, we did big. And I'm assuming well, I get Coney. I don't think he's talking about Coney. Coney did big, right? Nah, he's not talking about that. I don't think so. All right. Let's see here. Hannah. says, finally someone's covering Bitwise. Thank you so much. I said, I'm surprised there isn't more content on Bitwise positions. At least for the first 5 to 6 months, they've been paying pretty good. So prior to this last payout, this payout is what, 394. All right. So up to then it was averaging 620. With this 394, it's going to be averaging, I estimate it to be 520. 520 payout. Oh, look at here. My good friend Mike says, hey, bro, do you got any AMDW? It's been doing really well, almost as good as HOOW. So I sold my YieldMax PLTY and bought a ton load plus HOOW, and I bought me some hood before the market opened, and they all flew up at lightning speed. He's laughing. I made 5K today in profit alone, plus mad dividends on the way. I said, my guy, I don't have any AMDW. I just looked at the price right now. I can't get with the $72 price tag. I got bad PTSD for when the price do drop. Once I get myself situated, I'm sure those are positions I will be looking at, though. Thank you for the heads up. He said, I feel you laughing out loud. All right, let's get to the shorts. Let's get to the shorts. 12 days ago, so we good on that. 2 weeks ago, we good on that. Get a sip of Pepsi here, or Coke, or whatever this is. All right, 9 days ago, we good on that. Let me go back here. Okay, 19 comments. All right, let's see here what we got. Living on margin. Living on margin. All right, cool. He said, is your account 100% high yield income funds? I'm making around 4 to 5K per month with YieldMax funds. I said probably about 90% because I do have regular stocks like Palantir, SoFi, Bull, and SMCI. Besides, all others are YieldMax, Roundhill, Bitwise, and Granite shares ETFs. So living on margin says he's doing about 4 to 5K, which is spectacular, man. That is great. 4 to 5K. That's great, man. Keep it up. Oh, Jack, Jar, Jack. I'm gonna say Jack. The problem with margin call is you pay. So it says you're eight. It says the problem with margin call is you pay for is say you got 1850. Then if the market goes down again, you need to give money again. Oh, this was last week. It says, but money you could have had in cash, but hey, better than losing shares. Yep, that was last week, 7 days ago, more than 7 days ago. All right, cool. All right, got 6 comments here. All right. I don't know if y'all hear that and if it's bothering you, but yeah, that's a train. Choo choo. All right. Finance Nation says, congratulations and thanks for showing me what I could do with my dividends. I says, you're very welcome. Thank you for stopping, viewing my channel. Hoping I'm leaving some gold nuggets as you are implying. Thank you. Life on Life of Nam. He says, bro, check it out. Bro, you need to reduce margin. You're on thin ice. And I'm not denying what he's saying. I said, I guess a lot of people think I need to do that, of course. I will in time. It's all part of my strategy till I get what I want. But the time I will have um, most of the time I will have high margin until I get to a reasonable number. That's supposed to be the strategy going into 2026, at least reducing it to half or near a smaller amount. Finance Nation says more shorts. I says we'll see. I may do a weekly chart, and if I do a buy or sell, I generally show that in my charts, and we'll see. So I was thinking about this a few weeks ago, like this video. I may go back and see if I can filter some shorts out of it. You know, if that's people want more shorts. All right. I think that was it. So let's go to our post. All right, let's go 17th. Let's see what we got here. 6 days ago. All right. Let's go back one more just to make sure. 9 days ago. All right. So that's where we at. Let's get to it. All right. Avenue says, are we all in Coney? Are we all in Coney? I said, well, it's my biggest position in the high yield ETFs, in the high yield ETF family. When and if she gets above my average cost, I will probably rebalance to diversify my capital. I can't make out so many names. Uh, but anyway, we're gonna go. Lamont says, keep those notifications coming. Clap, clap, money, money, money. I said, thank you, sir. I will do my best. 360X says, okay, that was 8 days ago. He did come back here. He says, what's your opinion on TSSY? I said, my opinion is paying better than OT. I said, my opinion is it's paying better than OT per week. OT is 518 paying 9 cents. TSYY is 720 paying 21 cents per week. TSYY has a dividend yield of 164 and it's paid 12.52 per year in the past year. The dividend is paid once per week, and that's the last blah blah blah. All right. He says, I agree. I recently bought some TSYY, NVYY, YPay, and Hui. I have a ton of positions across YieldMax, mostly OT, YMax, Misty, etc. And I'm happy with the current cash flow, moving the dividends to buy 4 new positions I'm in. Great information, my brother. All right. This was 8 days ago, but 14 Snapper Wolf says, so Misty will pay again on the 24th. Coney will pay again as well. Triple A says, yes, all weekly now. Yep, every Friday. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys helping out with the comments and questions. All right, 7 days ago, Christine says, I didn't get paid for YieldMax this week. I brought on Wednesday 810. I said, if your brokerage is with Weeble, then you'll get paid on Monday. If not, I'm mistaken. It could be Tuesday. They said it's with Fidelity. And I says, check your account again and maybe you may be looking at something wrong. You have to have your dividends in your account. There is no way you can't have gotten them yet. Call them and see what's up. They said thank you. All right, cool. All right, here we are here. All right, man 8437 said had to leave YieldMax and head to Round Hill and Neos. They can hold NAV and give good dividends. I said that is perfectly fine as long as you get the money and it's comfortable for you. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. I still haven't figured out how to pronounce your name, my friend. 3138. Give me some fire sign. I said, let's go, my brother. All right. Next, we got this one. Christopher or Chris says, I added a few ICOI today. Will continue to accumulate. Thanks. I say, you're more than welcome. Hope you get a good return. My good friend Mike says, not too shabby, my dude. $3 to $4 for all four of them, despite tariff drops. Total, I should get around $3,800. I said, I appreciate the feedback, my guy. It's good to see those payouts at these prices. I think I'm getting just shy of $3,700. He said, keep that dividend snowball coming. Mm, mm, Yes, sir, Mr. Mike. All right, let's see here. We're almost getting close to the end. Uh, Dividend Seth says, what does it mean when your yield versus your yield costs are so different? All right. So I says, I'm not going to even try and answer that. I'm going to let ChatGPT try to explain it. See below. And if you all want to read this, come this video. I'm gonna wait 5 seconds. You can pause it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm gonna scroll down so you can see the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the remaining amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Um, Lamont says, I'm reading a Wall Street Journal article about how easy it is to get fired working for Netflix. One former VP of talent took a six-figure cut to work somewhere else less stressful. If people eliminate the curse of the 401ks gridlock like save until 59 and built their own high yield freedom portfolio, they could eliminate some of the stress from getting fired at a moment's notice. And I said, brother, you speaking facts, especially what's going on now in the market. A lot of people getting laid off. AI's replaced a lot of jobs. The federal government is reducing its force, and companies are just laying off. I say you speaking facts. 100, 100, 100. I'm looking forward to the day when I know I have this in my back pocket. Should my health or a moment notice I'm terminated, I know I got this and I can depend on or carry me. Nothing like cash flow and a peace of mind. I said I took out about 26,000 out of my 401k, decided I could do better, make better money than my 401k is doing, and I can say I am going to do a lot better than my 401k is doing, people. Avenue says, "What all is this?" Um, I wasn't for sure what he was talking about. At first, I thought he was talking about the app. I said it's Divi Tracker app. Then I think, man, maybe he's talking about something else. I said, oh, I think you asked me what position do I hold. I have a few YieldMax, blah blah blah, and so forth and so forth. 3138 says incredible. I said yes, cash flow, financial freedom. R for real says it's a journey. Oh, I replied back saying it's a journey, it's a process. As the Philadelphia 76ers say, just trust the process. This individual says, awesome, man. I said it fluctuates each month, each week because dividends payout are different. So yeah. My good friend here says, I'll be there one day. I says, you will, my guy. I started with 30,000 and then I was using margin on top of that to get where I am. That may be paying about 12K I owe. What was I trying to say here? That may be paying about 12K. I guess I'm talking about that. I owe about 123,000 in margin principal. So until I can get that balance paid for, I can't really enjoy the monthly. Technique says, how much do you have invested in total, if you don't mind me asking? I do not mask. I do not mind you all asking me anything about my dividend investment. Now, when you start to ask me some personal information about who I am, then I am less likely to reply. All right. All right. So we had several individuals. Triple quad six says 180K. He got 2 likes. Hernandez says he is using margin too. Uh-oh. This guy right here, YieldMaxMindset, he replied. Let's read what he said. He says, according to this app, which is the Divi Tracker app, which is called Divi Tracker, I have invested 261,700. Excuse me, not me. I said that guy YieldMaxMindset. 261,779 minus the margin balance of 123,000, and minus me being down almost 75,000, showing me with the value of just 63,000. That's my Robinhood and Charles. That's his Robinhood and Charles Schwab account combined. He also said about 261,000 invested. So forth and so forth. All right. Code 77799 says 30,000 dividends and its clean house money portfolio. He got 4 likes. Uh, Christine says a year or a month. Uh, he said I meant that 30K is more, and it looks like the whole investments are fully paid, and he can retire. Um, the dude says I probably will retire before I reach this figure, but my ultimate goal is 85,000 a month in dividends coming in. That would equate to 1 million a year. He says, Cal, hope you make it there. Oh, holy cow. Hope you make it there. He got 2 likes. I said with using margin, the return of these high yield ETFs probably will hit that in about 2 to 4 years, if not sooner. All right. Ken says, thanks, man. Strong. Keep praying for your brother. I said it fluctuate each. Y'all can read it. It's basically the same thing I said earlier. All right, cool. All right, next here. Ooh, got a lot of comments here. All right, Lamont says, keep those dividends coming. I said, if the Lord's will, I promise I won't be stopping anytime soon. Loss from Light 777 says, man, how many shares you got in OT and Coney? I said, I have 1,501 shares in OT and I have 11,600 shares in Coney. He says, man, 1,501 ain't that much. He says, wait a minute. He says, man, 1,501 ain't that much for B, but geez, 11,000 ain't that much. What is ain't that much for bet, but geez, 11,600 shares for Coney. I got only 680. Hey man, um, what's that phrase? Comparison is the what's that phrase? When you compare yourself to someone else, it steals life's joy or something. I can't remember what that phrase. Comparison is the greatest robbery or something. I can't remember. I've heard it mentioned a couple times, but yeah, I man, there's people got way more shares than I got in these positions, and I'm just steady building up. And I want to encourage you: out, do not be dismayed when comparing to what I got. Um, I've had some setbacks. I've didn't do things right. Um, but I'm continuing to build. And it would be one thing if I had 11,000 shares, 600, and my average cost is like $7. So I'm only down a little bit. But my average cost is 1078, and I'm down about $46,000 right now. So most people couldn't stomach that. But hey, I want you to stick with it. If that's what you want, you got set a plan in motion to try to build steady and consistently, and with time reinvesting, with time compound reinvesting, you can get there. I'm using margin to help me get there faster, and I'm living on the edge a little bit with it. All right, Mike West says that's good, bro. I'm getting out of crypto to get into ETF now. He got two replies. Hernandez says, do both, my bro. I said, I agree with Hernandez. Do both, which is actually what I'm doing. My biggest position is Crow, which over 302,000 tokens is my. In this very moment, I'm up over 24,000 in profit with my Crypto.com and Trump Media Company forming partnership. It ran up to $82,000 in profit, and of course, I didn't sell anything. Wasn't trying to. Robert says Ulti paid 100% capital for the past three dividends. That means 0% paid for profit on those options bets. They are just giving you your money back and taking a 1.4% fee. No thanks. Sold 50% of Ulti. He got 2 likes. Glenn said, you obviously, I can't say it, y'all, don't understand the math behind Ulti. Stay poor. I said, man, you got to do what you got to do. Um, so my thing, you got to do what you got to do. If that's what you want to do, I'm not telling no one they could stay or should go. You know, that's your money. You do what you want. But this is what I'm doing. I'm sitting still for right now. All right, our last one for the night. It is late. Oh, this individual says, need to get more ICOI. I said, trust me, I am scheming and plotting to make another large purchase. I plan to sell Palantir as soon as it gets right near $200 per share. Take that money, put it back into ICOI. I would have to get it. I said I would love to get it at a $31 price. Mike said, congratulations, brother. They are paying both of us massively Tuesday. Got 2 likes. I said, yes, sir. Fabulous. 3,700 approximately. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, my good friend Mike. All right, that's it. All right, just watch the movie if you stay here to the end. Look, you just watched the movie. I didn't charge you any admission. No popcorn, anything. But yes, this is YieldMax Mindset. The market's about to do its thing. So look like the market is going to be good and opening tomorrow with the news in the market. If nothing happens, we should be good. So it is my blessing that the Lord will keep you all safe and prosper. I'm out.